Ever met someone who just makes you stop and think with just one question? Well, that was Socrates in ancient Athens. In this video, we're hanging out with Socrates, the guy who loved asking questions and got people thinking in a whole new way, and how this regular man made such a huge splash in history. Stick around, because in this video, you'll learn a perspective that might just redefine your definition of success. Socrates, a man with a different viewpoint, often saying, "In knowing I know nothing, I am closest to understanding the world." This wasn't just a catchy phrase, it was the foundation of his beliefs. Now you might wonder, why would someone admit to knowing nothing, especially in a society that revered knowledge? Well, Socrates believed that the first step towards true understanding was to accept the limitations of one's knowledge. This radical belief set him apart. While others flaunted their wisdom, Socrates questioned his own, and in turn, the wisdom of those around him. It's like when you're in a group discussion and everyone's talking, but that one person who listens more and speaks less often has the most impactful thing to say. His approach was refreshing, but also, as you can guess, controversial. It's a classic story of going against the grain, daring to be different, and, just like any revolutionary idea, it had its critics. But Socrates' legacy wasn't built on popular votes. It was built on challenging norms and inspiring us to rethink what we believe and know. If you've ever felt alone in your beliefs, remember Socrates, and have the courage to stay true to your convictions. For those keen to dive deeper, a book like The Trial and Death of Socrates can offer insights into his unwavering spirit. Upon his return to Athens, Socrates became a fixture in the city's bustling squares. Whether with spirited youths or seasoned elders, he'd engage them in deep conversations about their beliefs. Picture this: an eager Athenian claims, "Justice? It's about giving each their due." Socrates, with that twinkle in his eye, would playfully retort, "What exactly does giving each their due mean?" Drawing them in with more questions like, "Who gets to decide what's due?" Or, "Have you ever seen a situation where this idea of justice doesn't quite fit?" Socrates wasn't just being difficult. He genuinely believed in challenging our notions. It's as if he was telling us, never settle on the surface. Dive deep, question, understand. Speaking of understanding, there's a book titled The Art of Questioning that truly embodies this Socratic spirit. If you ever find yourself wanting to channel your inner Socrates, giving it a read might just be your first step. After all, real growth lies not in knowing the answers, but in daring to ask the questions. The ripple effect, Socrates' influence and legacy. Isn't it astounding how the voice of a man who never wrote a single word still echoes loudly centuries later? Socrates, with his relentless curiosity, shaped the minds of great thinkers who followed him. It was his protege, Plato, who carried the torch forward, chronicling Socratic dialogues that still challenge our perceptions today. But the chain doesn't end there. From Plato's nurturing came Aristotle, a mind so sharp that he tutored none other than the legendary conqueror Alexander the Great. Imagine a lineage of brilliance like that. As you know, it's like what we discussed in our video about the law of averages. Surrounding yourself with greatness again and again refines you. The Greeks soaked in Socratic wisdom, and this thirst for knowledge didn't stop with them. The Romans, equally enamored, carried forward the beacon of Socratic inquiry throughout their vast empire. It's a testament to the lasting impact of genuine curiosity. As Socrates might say, it's not just about what you know, but the questions you are brave enough to ask. So, what questions are burning inside you? How will you leave your ripple in the vast ocean of time? Dive deep, just as Socrates did, and who knows where the currents might take you. The modern day relevance. In today's digital age, where we're bombarded with an avalanche of information every second, it's easy to drown in data and lose sight of truth. But here's the twist. Socrates, with his timeless method of questioning, hands us a lifeline. Picture this. Each time you come across a new piece of information, you channel your inner Socrates asking, why? How? What's the proof? It's not just about skepticism, but genuine curiosity. It's about digging deep and looking for authentic understanding, rather than just accepting things at face value. The beauty of the Socratic method, it's the beating heart of modern critical thinking and the pillar of scientific inquiry. In a way, it's a technique to sieve out the noise from the sound. If you've watched our video on Miyamoto Musashi, you'd know that mastering self-discipline means mastering the art of discernment. Similarly, using Socratic questioning empowers you to discern the real from the facade. Ever heard the phrase, question everything? It's more than just advice. It's a call to live deliberately, and think critically. If you want to dive into this, check out the movie The Matrix. Neo's journey echoes Socratic principles, challenging the given, seeking truth, and breaking free. Remember, each question you ask is a step closer to your truth. So keep questioning, keep exploring. Have you ever felt like you're swimming against the tide, just trying to speak your truth, but the world's not ready to hear it? Well, imagine being Socrates. This guy was way ahead of his time. And guess what? It wasn't always smooth sailing for him. You see, Socrates loved to ask questions, especially to those who thought they had all the answers. Like that time he went up to a high-ranking official in Athens. Instead of nodding along, Socrates started asking what true leadership meant. Of course, that ruffled a few feathers. The official tried making fun of him, but Socrates calmly replied, "Isn't leadership like guiding a ship? If you don't know where you're going, you're just floating, not leading." But here's where it gets really interesting. When Socrates was put on trial, most of us would think, okay, time to back down a bit. But nope, not our man. He stood firm, defending his views using the very questioning method they criticized him for. It's kind of like that saying, be yourself, everyone else is taken. That, my friends, was Socrates for you. A reminder that speaking up for what you believe in might not always be easy, but it's always worth it. Imagine for a moment that you're walking down a familiar path. You pass by the same trees, the same stones, the same bends you've seen 100 times before. But one day, you stop and ask, why is this tree here? How did this stone get its shape? That's the essence of Socratic thinking, to never take things at face value, to ask questions even about the ordinary. Why? Because by doing so, we awaken a deeper understanding of the world and ourselves. You see, Socrates once said, an unexamined life is not worth living, and he wasn't talking about leading a life of endless introspection without action. No, he meant that self-awareness, that pause before taking any step, that question before accepting any answer can elevate the quality of our lives. Now, if you want to dive deeper into self-awareness, a great book recommendation is The Untethered Soul by Michael A. Singer. It'll guide you in exploring the inner realms of your consciousness. But remember, books and words are mere starting points. The real lesson, the real growth. It happens when you, the growth getters, apply this knowledge, when you make questioning and introspection a part of your everyday journey. After all, the quest for genuine knowledge begins with a simple why. So why not start today? And if this resonates with you, consider subscribing to the Growth Getters channel for more insights like this. Step back in time with us to ancient Athens, where a man named Socrates changed the game with simple yet powerful questions. Dive into his world, learn how he questioned everything, and discover why this ancient philosopher still matters today. This isn't just history, it's about critical thinking and finding truth amidst today's information overload. As Growth Getters, we can learn from Socrates, never stop asking why, and always seek deeper understanding. Curious for more? Join us in this enlightening journey, and don't forget to subscribe to Growth Getters for more wisdom-packed adventures.